You going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? You some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the...
Hey guys, Noelle here. In honor of our soldiers, our military personnel that are currently deployed right now, I wanted to take the time to personally thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all that you guys do, even the veterans. I also wanted you guys to see our team and what they had written to you guys personally. I wish you all nothing but love and respect.
So welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. 'Cause these are my people.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. We took a week off. It's a big episode. I have my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law with me, and my guest on the other side is my other brother-in-law, and we all raced in the SLAMFEST this year at the Puyallup Fair, or the Washington State Fair. So on that note, it's Red Friday. You guys remember everybody deployed. It's always wear red. So, Bryce, you're Navy. Let's go into what brought you to join the military.
Both my parents served, and to be just kind of transparent about it, I wasn't really doing anything out of high school, and I needed to do something. And both my parents served, and I wanted to serve at least 4 years. So I decided to join the Navy, following my parents' footsteps. And I actually got the same job that my mother had in the military. So that's pretty cool. We can both share somewhat of the same experiences that we both had. So that was the main reason.
So when did you enlist?
December of 2017. So pretty much 2018.
And you went in to be a parachute rigger, correct?
Yes.
So you want to explain your job?
It's not as cool as what the Army does. I will admit that. It sounds cool when you say it out loud, but I do pack parachutes, but I deal with a variety of survival equipment for pilots to use. It's a last resort kind of situation. So if the pilot were to have to eject during flight for like F-18s or EA-18s or anything like that, they would use my equipment for it. We deal with survival vests, oxygen equipment, life preservers, life rafts, all that kind of stuff. And we basically inspect it and make sure that it's good for use. We do functional checks on it to make sure everything's good to go.
So I know in the Army, our chute packers actually had to jump with us, and they didn't have a specified parachute that they used. So they packed everything, and they would jump with us, and it was luck of the draw. Do you guys do that?
So in my rate, in a way, yes. So we have different platforms that we can go to, and it's what's called an SOPR, so a Spec Ops PR. There's a lot of we essentially deploy with the SEALs, and we'll pack all their parachutes and deal with all their survival equipment for them to use. And those are like the PRs that actually jump with the parachutes that they pack and everything like that. And then, but it's a specialty place to get into. You have to qualify for it. There's a lot of physical things that you have to do. You have to go to I forgot where the jump school is. I believe it's in. I'm sure you went to it.
It's in Fort Benning.
Yeah, Fort Benning. Yeah. So we do the whole Army jump school and become master jumpers, I think is what it's called. But yeah, that's something that you have to kind of qualify for. There's a lot of prerequisites that you have to do in order to get that. I don't qualify for any of that, so
you never got to fall out of a plane?
No, I'm never jumped out of a plane.
I don't say jump because you don't jump, you get pushed out, you fall.
Yeah, no, don't do any of that. No, nothing cool like that. I mean, my job is cool, but I don't get to jump out of planes, no, or get pushed out of planes.
So you said your deployments, or you guys deploy with SEALs. Have you had any deployments?
No, I have not had any deployments. So the SOPRs are the ones that deploy with the SEALs on a case-to-case basis. But no, I have actually never been in 6.5 years, never seen a deployment, which kind of sucks. I've been kind of state-based my whole career. So hopefully in the next 4 years, I would see a deployment. But yeah.
So in the Navy, I know you're not on a boat, you're not on a ship, you're on an island, you're on land base. So is that normal in the Navy for it to be split up like that, depending on the job, or
for aviation? Yes. Aviation, there's a lot of things that we can do, and it's not all boat oriented, right? There are a lot of people that see the boat in the aviation world, but there's also a lot of people that have never seen the boat. Like me, for example, been in 6.5 years, which isn't too long, but it's long enough to be like, I should have seen a boat by now. I haven't. And there's been people that I know that have been in 18 years and never seen a boat, so it just depends on where you get stationed. I was just fortunate enough to not have to be on the boat. But I would love to see a deployment. It is something that I do want to do.
I would not suggest wanting to do that right now.
Oh, no, not right now. Not right now. But, in the next probably year, we might be seeing that. So it just depends.
So when the Navy comes up on deployments, you guys just go out on a boat and you guys sit out in the ocean and wait for something to happen? Or is there actual units that would be on the land with Army and Marines?
So there's different, because there's so many boats. Or ships is what we call them in the Navy. And each ship provides their own mission, right? So the big boys like the CVNs, which are aircraft carriers and stuff like that, they hold a different mission. So they do a lot of most of the time, since there's not there's stuff going on, but there's not a lot going on. They'll kind of do what's called sorties and do some dog fighting and some training things on the boat for like our F-18s and stuff like that. And then there's what's called LHDs, who are the guys that drop the Marines off to where they need to go, and they do their badass stuff and come back, kind of a deal. So we have transport ships that we also utilize.
So have you ever actually met a SEAL and worked with a SEAL on the shoots, or?
Not worked with a SEAL. I've never worked with a SEAL. I have met a few, but I've never worked with SEALs. Never worked with any of those guys. I worked with a few SOPRs.
What's that?
Spec Ops PRs.
Okay.
Who do work with the SEALs. I've worked with quite a few of those guys. So they have some cool, interesting stories. But yeah, personally, no, I've only met SEALs in passing at the gym, stuff like that.
So where have you been stationed since you've been in?
2 places. I was stationed for 4 years in New Orleans, in a little town called Bellchase. And then I got stationed up here in Whidbey Island not too long ago.
That's in Washington State.
Correct.
It's one of the islands up the northwest part of Washington. When you were in Louisiana, I know we have talked, and you guys have gone through hurricanes over there, or
yes.
At least one that I know of.
Yes.
What was that like?
So we've been through 2 hurricanes. The first hurricane we went through was not too bad. We didn't need to evacuate. I believe it was only a category 2. which is kind of a lower one. It's at a 5. And we were able to stay. We lost power for about a week. Luckily, it was still cold out, or it was starting to get cold out, so we didn't have to deal with all the heat. But then right before we left to move to Washington, we got hit with a Category 4, or it might have been a Category 5 hurricane that we had to evacuate for. And we were out of our house for 2.5 weeks. We had to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We spent a week over there, kind of just waiting to hear word from where we need to move to next. And then my whole command met in Dallas, Fort Worth on that base. And we were there for about a week to do our missions, because we still had to, complete our missions and stuff like that. So we had to meet there.
That's not fun. So
No.
when you say a Category 4, what hurricane was that? Which one was it?
I believe Ida, if I'm not mistaken.
So was that as bad as Katrina, or do it?
Katrina wasn't as bad of a hurricane as it was. Everybody knows Katrina and what happened. So what happened with Katrina wasn't the category so much of the hurricane, it was the levees. So the levees ended up breaking, which caused all the flooding in New Orleans and all the parishes, like my parish, which is like a county is what we call it, but we call them parishes. Everything got flooded and destroyed and stuff like that, but it wasn't because of the hurricane. It was because of the levees breaking. After Hurricane Katrina, they completely redid the levees, and it'd be pretty difficult for them to break. So
Mom's watching. I don't know if you guys seen that in the comments.
I saw that.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mama.
So I don't know, that's a scare factor to me. I've been through some tornadoes in Kentucky, and it just never was fun. But I know hurricanes got some serious wind that comes along with them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even. What was the sound like with that?
So the first hurricane, when we actually stayed for the hurricane, it was probably the craziest wind I've ever seen. I walked outside for a second and got blown down immediately, and that was only Category 2. And yeah, so it's out of 5, right? And Category 1 and 2 is not something you really need to evacuate for. 3 is like, hey, you might want to think of plans for evacuate. 5, evacuate, stuff like that. The wind's crazy, the sounds are crazy. It's like a ghost sound, right? Just everywhere. And then when you walk outside, everything's just destroyed. There's branches everywhere. Our grill had fell down. Our part of our fence fell off. Yeah, they're not fun. The wind's crazy. It's usually about 100-mile-an-hour winds. So not fun at all.
And my mom's in here now too.
Yeah. My mom
Hi.
and your mom's in there.
So they're just looking at the comments, but were you guys activated as a Navy unit to help in those hurricanes, to help people?
No, because for our command, there's nothing much that we could do because we flew F-18s. But there was a command that got activated. We have a Coast Guard. So the base that I was on was pretty much everywhere, or like all the branches were on that base. So we had Coast Guard, if you really want to count them as a branch. They're not a branch, but we had Coast Guard on our base. We had Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and then the Marine Command and the Coast Guard Command got activated to help support the people that needed, support.
Hey, Justin. Hey, Mike. Well, on that, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, my other brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are here, and they were both first responders, and we're gonna talk to them. And then the second half of this show, it's gonna get really fun because I got videos to show you guys, and you'll be the first to see these videos. I haven't posted them anywhere, but it was from what we did last weekend. So we're gonna take a break, and then when we get back in here, we'll dive in with Sarah and Kyle.
Attention, all troops. Are you ready to stay connected with the latest news, entertainment, and information tailored for our armed services? Look no further than MBR.
Here at MBR, we're more than just a radio station. We're a lifeline for those who served from the front lines to the home front. We're here to keep you informed, entertained, and connected to your fellow veterans.
With our dedicated team of broadcasters, we bring exclusive interviews with military leaders, insights into the latest strategies and technologies, and uplifting stories of bravery and sacrifice.
But that's not all. MBR is a nonprofit organization, meaning that every dollar you donate goes directly towards supporting our troops and their families, whether it's providing care packages, funding, scholarships, or offering mental health resources. Your support makes a difference.
With that, H Train, can you tell me a little bit about how MBR got started?
Well, in 2005, Jim Butler created it so that he could keep contacts with all of his pals over in Iraq. And then when 2018 came, he decided that it was time for him to retire. He was going to close up the station. And because we've had so many former DJs since 2005, I mean, it was pretty inspiring. We have at least 5 veterans in every single state, at
That's
least.
awesome.
And, it just brings us closer together. It creates a family, and it creates a family that we lost when we got back from Iraq. And
Remind you that every show is manned by a veteran or a first responder. That's amazing. I love what MBR is doing here. I love being a DJ here as well. Talk to people who have been through situations similar to yours. You're not alone. That's what we do here on MBR.
yeah, and it's nice because if you're not having a radio day and you're just having a bad day,
Or do you don't have a face for radio? We just want to remind you that every show is manned by a veteran or a first responder. So if you've ever had a dog tag, you could be possibly on the show or create your own, as well as military dependents. Together, we'll stay strong, we stay informed, we stay connected. So visit our website and download our app today, MBR.
MBR, serving those who served while giving
Giving
veterans
veterans a
a voice.
Brandon Stokely here, and I want to encourage every single one of y'all to keep grinding, keep fighting, keep practicing, keep getting those reps in, because that's what's important, right? Keep building, laying down that foundation, and keep working at it, keep practicing. No matter what the results you see right now, it doesn't matter what's going on right now. Look towards the future, and that's what it's all about. So keep working hard, keep practicing, keep getting those reps, and that's what's most important right now. So keep up the good work. Best of luck.
All right, so we're back. Hey, just wanted to say, hey, thanks for jumping in, Riley. We have 2 volunteer first responders with us. This is my brother-in-law Kyle and my sister-in-law Sarah, his fiance. Let's get into it. Kyle, what did you do as a volunteer first responder?
Actually, I wasn't a volunteer. I was a paid residential firefighter, so I lived there at the fire station.
Oh, okay.
And I worked at Chelan County District 7 for a couple years. I got my EMT 1 basic, and I was just a grunt firefighter.
So how many were you, like residential fires, or did you do forest fires?
I didn't see any forest fires. There were forest fires, but I didn't have my red card to go out and do any of that. So I was just motor vehicle accidents, and then residential and a lot of aid calls.
So did you actually see a lot of fires that you had to go in with and spray water or anything like that?
So there was only really one major. It was mostly all like car accidents because of the main highway out there. There's a lot of accidents. But there was one fire right in the main town of Chelan there. It was like a complex fire, I guess. It was where all their little stores were, and it caught, I think, 3 or 4 businesses on fire.
Oh wow,
It was pretty
um,
intense.
what made you decide to become a firefighter?
Well, to be honest, I either wanted to do 2 jobs. It was either be a firefighter, or work at Boeing, and
That's a big change.
yeah, it was. I started, I when I was younger, I was in the, like, firefighter explorer program, which really got my foot in the door. When I was younger, me and my dad came up on a head-on collision crash, and, I kinda just hopped out of the car and, stabilized the patients the best that I could. One had already passed away, but, I did what I could to, support the C-spine and keep the person coherent and talk to them, and kind of that's what got me into it. And then I was in firefighting in high school. We had a firefighting program there.
Lucky.
Um, yeah, it was fun. Um,
So, how old were you when you decided to do that?
the get on with fire department.
Yeah.
I think I was 21. I think I was 21. I just turned 21.
So, to become a firefighter, I know, like, obviously, Navy and Army and police and stuff, they have what basically is basic training, more or less. Is there something like that to become a firefighter?
Yeah, so you have to go through fire academy. They put you in fire academy, and that's in. Oh man, I can't remember.
They have so many of them now.
Yeah, it's one if you're going over towards Eastern Washington.
Okay. How long was that?
I can't even remember, man.
Usually around like 8 weeks or so,
It's been
Monday through Friday, like 8 to 8.
yeah, it's a full time, like, you're in there.
So you're just training and learning how to do stuff and making sure you're in shape to do it.
Yeah, they get you in shape. You learn how to, use your tools to get into to extricate cars, how to lay on fire or lay on water. There's multiple different ways to put on water on a fire. Um, Fire science, you learn, there's certain metals that if they get water on them, they'll blow up.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you know that, Bryce? Did you know there's metal that you can get wet and it would blow up if it's hot?
I learned that from basic. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, we weren't taught that. Nothing like that. We were just taught how to go into buildings and shoot people. That's basically what basic was, and then how to, for me, and then how to navigate around everywhere. I mean, that's more or less what it was. So, Sarah, you said you were a volunteer first responder too, which I did not know. What did you do?
So it started off as a high school project, and basically we had a list of things that we could pretty much do, and I was like, well, I want to do something where I'm not at home as much as possible. And so the fire station was within walking distance from my house, and so I just started volunteering at Station 1 in Everett, and I just turned 18 for my senior year, so I was actually able to do a lot more ride-alongs and help out a lot more, um, which was awesome. And I still remember the very first day, they're like, "None of our ride-alongs see anything cool, so don't get your hopes up." And the first call was actually a motorcycle accident, like, a few blocks from the fire station, and I got to actually assist in doing a tracheotomy in the middle of the road. The guy didn't make it, but, I will never forget that day, and it's because the car just cut him off, and
So it's funny that you brought that up. Was there anything that you see as a firefighter EMT that more or less haunts you that
There's
you'll always
there's a lot, and that might be one reason why I didn't stick with the fire career. I have a heart for people, and just seeing some of the stuff, you go through training and they teach you that, it's not your bad day. Try not to take it home. You leave it at the job. It's not your bad day. But, seeing family members at the accident scene, um, where their heart is just broken, that's the hard part to deal with. Um, you know, I multiple motor vehicle accidents where people didn't make it. There was a farmer that rolled his tractor and it pretty much took him out. Um,
so like I know what that like with me. there was a lot that we went through, and it's not taking it home and dealing with it. It's the remnants of what I had that I have to deal with day to day, every day now. And I found my way to this is actually perfect to lead us into what we're going into. My outlet to get out of my head is making my fishing jigs and fishing because it calms me down. What do you guys do if you get in your head and you start having those memories? How do you guys deal with it?
Well, I mean, I work on race cars. I mean, that's what I do. I go out in the shop and build or weld or fabricate and just kind of get my head into a different place. I pray. Try to spend time with my kids and family and just try to get my head in a different spot. But mostly, yeah, working on cars. What's my head.
What do you do?
Cooking. I like being in the kitchen. It calms me down. It pretty much I can just be in my own space, and so being in the kitchen is my little outlet for if I'm having a rough time.
She's a pretty good cook. I mean, I have to.
You don't have to.
No, I
mean,
don't have to, but I do say sometimes, like, yeah, this is all right.
So
I just make it clear so she doesn't make it again next time.
there's if you look up actual definition for PTSD, which to me anybody that's in the military or first responders, no matter what, it's going to have some sort of level of PTSD. The actual definition for it is being in a stressful, sustained environment for any period of time, i.e., the military. It is a stressful environment, no matter what. You got people yelling at you, you got people telling you what to do, or you don't worried about this. Even if you haven't deployed, like Bryce, it's still having that stressful environment. It's still going to be there. And he's still going to have to deal with that in the long run after the fact. Yeah. So I straight up just forgot what I was going to say.
Well, when I have to deal with stressful situations, it doesn't usually take me back into what I had to deal with then, but it's just sometimes when it's quiet, when things are too quiet, like when I have a hard time going to sleep. So that's when my brain starts.
And
And
that's me. I can't sleep.
I-
My brain goes 90 miles an hour until I'm pretty much getting
yeah, and I can't. Then my brain starts thinking, and then I start to get anxiety, and then it just it's not so much the scenes that you saw. It's for me, it's what could I have done more? What could I have done different to try to help these people? And maybe they could have, you know, seen their kids the next day or seen their family the next day. That's what weighs hard on me. But I just gotta, give it God and say, I did all that I could.
Yeah. So, have you guys personally experienced any dreams of what you have seen or went
I have.
Oh yeah.
through? And how do you guys combat
Well, I mean, after waking up in a complete panic, sweating and shaking and realizing that it's not true, I usually have to get up and calm myself down. He's done it multiple times.
Yeah. I just get up, try to stay up watching Last Trip to Rogers.
that? All right. So, that's actually a great way to lead this to when we come back. What we're going to get into is going to be the fun part of this show. So you guys stay tuned. I got to take another break. And when we get back, you guys are going to be shocked on what you see.
Thanks for watching, guys.
The fact that our patriotism in America is dwindling, I really wanted to start the American AF movement. Freedom is fragile, very fragile. It takes a certain level of intestinal fortitude to stand up and say and do the right thing to preserve the freedoms that so many have paid a large price for. About being in the military, and that recruiter said, it's not Biden's army, it's your army, it's his army, it's his army, it's all of our army.
American tactical. American as
right, so as you guys see, I'm going to be playing a video. The four of us that are in here right now, we're all a part of SLAMFEST at the Washington State Fair this year, where the four of us, including my son, ran mini bump to pass, which you guys will see what I mean by mini bump to pass. It kind of goes all out, and we'll go through the video. I got the sound kind of up to where you can kind of hear it, but I want to get what it was like for you, Bryce, since it was your first time. It was my first time racing. These guys do it all the time. I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous going into it, but man, once you get strapped into that car, your nervousness goes away, and it was just a lot of fun.
You know what? There's a lot of people watching right now, like Mike, Craig, and Riley, and Justin, and Getchell. He's actually our tech for the shows, but they're all watching too. So I'm hoping they'll get a kick out of this.
So this is a video I put together of what we did this weekend.
Bryce, you killed it out there, man. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, it was awesome. I loved every second of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, maybe next year we won't run you a Volvo.
So
This was Saturday, right?
this was Saturday. This was our main for the bump to pass. So the top camera was a camera we had set up to kind of get everything in that. Or wait, that's my wife videotaping the top one. The bottom right was a camera we had set up to get everything, and then that's my GoPro footage inside the video.
And I'm not in this one because my truck broke as we were entering
Right
the
before
track.
we were going out.
My clutch and brake pedal bracket shattered, and I had no clutch or brake. So I sat this one out because that would have been deadly.
That's why you don't drive Fords. Just saying.
It was a quick fix.
It was.
I think this is where we take the green, or it's the next.
So Hudson's on the pole position. You got Bryce next to him.
Green flag.
Jordan's behind him, and then you got Riley. Who else is out there? You got Jesse in the 18 car.
Yeah.
You got the Jenkins in the 85.
Yep. You got
Ron.
Ron's out there. Yep. In the orange and blue car. So I'm right behind Hudson. He's the black, red, white, and blue car. I'm 168. I'm taking out some tires.
I just smashed a tire. I'm in the 13 car. I was loving the tires in this race.
Then you got Thorny in the 07 car. That thing has seen some days on the track. I don't know how that thing is still running. And it's
not anymore.
It's not running?
No.
Oh, I don't know. He said it still runs. He got the tail end ripped out of that thing pretty good.
Yeah, it went from a mini car to a very compact toy car.
Very, very compact. Bryce, what were you thinking, Darren? Like, this was your first race out there. So were you like crapping yourself?
So the first race, there wasn't much thought going at all because I got out so quick. And after that, after we pulled back into the pit, I was a little disappointed because I was like, wow, I didn't really feel like I did too much out there. And then that second race was just one of the best feelings I've ever had. So much adrenaline going through. Like, it was one of the most fun I've ever had, like, doing something like this. So it was awesome.
Oh, the adrenaline was something else.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't start feeling pain until about 30 minutes afterwards. And then my head started hurting. And that's when Hudson, was pretty much done after that.
Oh, Hudson pushed you to the wall right there.
Yeah. That's when my tire got all, that's when they black flagged me.
Luckily, we were able to get you in the pits and get that tire changed.
Yeah, Marcus is awesome for what he's able to do.
Big shout out to Marcus. He kind of kept us going. He was running the pits, I mean, throughout the whole night.
The whole weekend.
The whole weekend, yeah.
Yeah, he was our pit boss.
He was helping us with everything.
Changing tires, getting cars running again.
Bryce, you got booted out of this race, and then he turned around and he changed your tire and I got smacked. And then he turned around and changed your tire and got you into the second race.
Yeah, Marcus and Sarah we were both grabbing everything, hurrying up and grabbing everything, getting it jacked up and changing the tire and getting me back out there. So it was awesome. It was a quick turnaround, very quick.
I think we brought like 17 tires or something with us.
I had 14 in the back of my rig.
14?
Yeah, we had a lot of tires.
A lot of tires.
Thanks for the comment, Justin. And yeah, Steve, Sunday was awesome. I just wish my impact switch wouldn't have went off because that was the only thing that stopped me from going. We figured it out after the fact.
Yeah, we got the car back at the end of the day, and then found the the switch that would release the
And
ignition.
and you
Or
can kinda see where it's at in that live view right there. It's just down by the shifter.
yeah,
But
but yeah, we got back into the pits and released it, and he was able to fire it right back up.
yeah, it was frustrating because I think I only made like 3 laps in the main on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which I mean that was fun. I took second in this one, and this is the last half of the race after we
Tire?
had the red flag and Bryce had to go out.
If people are watching this and
Oh,
they
nice
don't know
one.
how to get into this kind of racing, this is one of the cheapest types of racing that you could get into. I mean, you wanna have a truck, you wanna have a trailer, but you can always rent a U-Haul and bring it to the track, but it's just go ahead, Jordan.
So if you look, Kyle is right on my ass on this when he spins me out up here, or one of these two. Oh no, that's when I hit Riley.
Oh, yeah. That's a 16-year-old right there, so you
Yeah.
have to be 16 to do this kinda racing.
So we found out, I mean, Hudson's 13. Oh, well, Hudson's 13, but, they let him run this year. They said that he couldn't run any other years, but until he turned 16. But
They figured out the insurance stuff. It was a mistake on both sides. It happened. But
Oh.
that's where I took Kyle and Hudson out.
Oh, man. Good one. I mean, you're driving like you've done this before.
Yeah, right. That's
First time I ever done any racing
Oh.
like this.
well, we did take a couple days and rally out in the field, which
We practiced.
we practiced out in the field. We made a figure 8 track and went and rallied a little bit, but
See, that's what I was most scared of is doing the figure eights. And then when I found out it was just the oval, I was a lot, I wouldn't say happier. I was a lot less nervous about it. But the figure eights, I was a little, because you get hit pretty hard. I saw it last year. So,
Oh, yeah, that's when, Kyle's axle broke. Yeah, the figure eights are fun and terrifying all at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my first one.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's not, but you don't hurt as bad as you think you would. I mean, Sarah got pretty tore up on Sunday.
Sure did. She sure did. I haven't had a bruise on me in probably 20 years since I was in the military. And right now I got bruises. I was surprised. Honestly, I was really surprised. And but the fact that I mean you're out there and you know you're gonna get hit and it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. What about you, Bryce? I mean, how are you sore? Are you bruised up, or are you feeling pretty good?
I was at the beginning of the week. I was telling Jordan at the beginning of the week that, my head was hurting pretty bad on Sunday and then Monday. And then my back was very sore. And then my wrists were sore. Like there was a few parts that were pretty sore. No bruises, thankfully, but I was sore for sure. But you guys raced all 3 days. I only raced the 2 races on Saturday. So
yeah, tell you what, dude, doing a 3-day show is no joke.
That was exhausting.
That was a lot of races. Friday night we each had 2 races, and then Saturday they changed it and there was the 2 mains, and then Sunday was only 1. So I mean, altogether that's what 6 races that we did in 3 days. And it was a lot, and you got to think you're getting hit on every single one of them.
Yep.
But it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'll do it again. I mean, SLAMFEST
is a different kind of show, man.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. It's like SLAMFEST, you're there to put on a show, but you go to the other tracks, it's not
nearly as aggressive.
No.
There it is.
They're bigger tracks. You just, when it comes to spinning people out, it's just a bump and go or a spin out and go. But you don't get piled up in corners and just get pile drive.
So Riley said last year he hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, he hit me so hard I went straight into the wall.
Oof.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that killed my car or not. No, because I finished both
No, yeah, you
races.
did.
My plan was to kill my car, but that didn't work out.
We ended up trading that car for something else,
I
or
don't.
bars or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't remember.
That was the your diamond looking one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was a Toyota Celica that I had last year.
So on that one, we'll after we go to a break, we'll bring up the figure eight, which you weren't in. But how did you feel about that? I mean, I know you kind of talked about it here and there, but let's talk about like the week leading up to it. Were you getting nervous? Were you worrying about it? Or?
It wasn't so much I was excited. I was more excited than nervous for sure. But when I got there and I got into the car and we were about to start racing, that's kind of where the nerves kind of started, sinking in. Or like even right before the race, I was like, oh shit, like anything could go wrong. Like I was thinking of what could go wrong instead of like what could go right. But then when I started going, everything kind of just went blank. Like I said, it was one of the best experiences ever. Like I was telling, Grace before all this, I was like, I'm going to be one and done. Like, I just want to do it for the experience. But after doing it next year, I've already talked to my buddy and
yeah,
the car
it's addicting.
and everything like that. Like I'll do all 3 days. Like it was so much fun.
Well, Justin just said that next year he's going to be in the mini car with us. So it's kind of curious to think how many actual cars are going to be in that mini bump.
Total. Honestly, what I liked the most was like all the family was in the first race. I know Sarah's clutch, got messed up that race, but it was nice that all the family was in there, and we were able to do that all as a family. It was awesome. Hudson killed it too. For as young as he is, he really killed it. So
awesome. the cars, I know where you're going. The cars I counted on Saturday night, there's a total of 16. That's why they did, or 18. That's why they did 9 and 9.
Yep.
Yes.
And then the figure eight, which we'll be playing soon, there was 16 cars in the figure eight.
Yeah, that's
not how many finished.
That's a good.
that is definitely not how many finished.
That's a good car count. That is a really good car count.
I mean, that was a lot. I mean, that's why 18 minis in the figure eight, or was it 18? I thought it was 19. So total of 18 on Saturday, and we split it into the 2 races. And then the figure eight was all the cars minus 2, I think.
Yeah.
There was only 2 that weren't there.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Mike Craig too for coming out from Kitsap. Like, we'd love
he
to
was
have.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I thought I seen him in here.
He is.
Okay.
He definitely put on a good show.
No,
he had some hard hits.
He put on a good one. His truck was something else. I mean, he took some hits and he gave some hits for sure.
I don't know if he was planning on tearing his truck up that bad though, because I think that was his mini truck. His mini truck for Kitsap.
16 in the figure eight. Okay.
Yeah,
wow, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
Oh yeah.
I know we couldn't really get around both corners without having to slow down for the ready to catch up.
Couple of times you had to go wide and joggle through the intersections too.
No, that was the figure eight was fun, Bryce. And next year if you do it, you'll have a blast. But you got to think, it was like me. I was nervous to the point I was like, I'm gonna have Marcus drive the car because I didn't want to do it. But then as soon as you're in the car and you're out there, it goes away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
For the figure eight or just the circle?
Figure eight. I was nervous about the figure eight. The circle one I wasn't nervous about. But once I was in the car and we were out there, that whole nervousness it goes away. It's you in the car.
Like
Bryce, especially once you get that first hit. Yeah. Everything just kind of goes away.
No, for sure. After the first hit, I was like, all right, this is what it's going to be like. All right, I'm good. I'm good to go. Especially I hit the wall pretty hard in the first race. And I mean, I thought it was going to be worse than what it was, but it wasn't too bad. Like, and you're pretty strapped in there. So it's, you're not, going forward too much. So,
well, one thing I will say is do we have any clips from the second race that Bryce did?
I do, but I haven't put none together yet.
Okay.
I was worried about all of us, but to keep that thought, we're going to go to a break and then we're going to run the figure eight and see. Figure eight was fun.
I got to hold my thought.
Yeah, you got to hold your thought.
that each day, 22 veterans commit suicide due to PTSD. These stats shook us and urged us to do our part. After hours and hours of thinking, Beekeeping for Veterans was born. Beekeeping for Veterans combines beekeeping with mindfulness meditation. Why combine them? Here's why. Beekeeping causes positive rush of adrenaline while beekeeping. You have to be calm during it. You are mindful of your movements. Each week, a veteran will receive a mindful meditation to build emotional and mental skill sets. Mindfulness is a set of 3 attentional skills that work together: concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity, mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper. Every time mindfulness is practiced, we build these skills. Beekeeping for Veterans not only helps veterans overcome emotional trauma, but also aids our environment, as without bees, there is no food. Come forward. The people who have supported your country now need your support.
All right, so this is the figure 8, and I'll play that. And Steve, I hope you like this. I hope you guys enjoy this. And I've been being told we put one hell of a show on this year, just in the mini bump. So we had a blast doing it for sure. And I wish I could have lasted longer in the figure 8 because, man, it gets addicting. Once you get going, it gets fun. But I think I only made like 3 laps.
That's okay.
Hey, I didn't finish either.
My car was not wanting to participate in that.
So,
Well, you still got.
Kyle got 3rd in the figure 8. Imagine that. And he only had 1 tire that had air in it. So on the left side is my wife videotaping, and then you got video of my GoPro and Kyle's GoPro. I'm in the top right, and Kyle's in the bottom right.
That 511 truck, that's mine right there. And I'm next to my nephew, Hudson.
Yeah, me and Kyle are both dancing to the music, is what it is.
You guys were hilarious. I mean, I think I'm doing my little cha-cha slide in the car.
But this is a whole nother level of, this was, I don't even know how to explain the feeling in this. I mean, as soon as we started moving like that, it goes away. And it's like, okay, let's get this over. 25 laps. Let's go.
I don't even think we made 25 laps.
I don't. You might have.
So this type of racing is called banger racing, which is basically a mini car demo derby. There is no rules besides no door shots, which you will see.
There's a few of them.
There's a couple door shots. I don't think they're intentional door shots, but that's just part of it. That's part of the.
That's part of racing. You can't get away from it, especially when you're doing something like this. You get hit in the door. You get hit in the door. There's no point in getting bent out of shape over it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, you know, it's all a part of racing. You know.
You know, even in full like derby, demolition derby, there's still door shots. And,
I know, Mike. If you're still in here, I know he tagged me once good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was in this, if it was in the figure 8 or which one it was, but I also hit. I don't remember what car it was, but it spun him out, and he hit Mike in the.
Oh,
blue truck.
you hit Tyler?
I'm not 100% sure. It might have been.
There's Tyler right there in the upper.
Yeah, he's in the 22, the black and green.
And there's green, and the collision right at that first corner was insane.
Oh yeah.
Pile up.
Yep.
I mean, it was a pile up.
I think it is in this one where
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There's
Thorny.
Oh yeah, I got you right there.
No, but yeah, it's in this one where Mike just gets nailed and gets whipped.
Oh, I
around.
just got whipped around.
I mean, that's the one thing is in those trucks when you're in a little Ranger like that. It's all rear-wheel drive. I mean, you barely got to touch them; they're spinning out.
Yeah.
I mean, the benefit that we both had is we both had manuals, so that made it a lot easier.
So the 3 manuals out there were Mike, Riley, and Sarah.
Yeah.
Rear-wheel drivers.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference.
So I get
right
smacked.
there. That's
Oh!
right where
Yeah,
Mike
where
got
I hit him.
nailed.
And that's where the impact switch went, and I got stuck in the tire, and I couldn't go nowhere. It was from that hit. Are you ready to do this next year, Bryce?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean,
It's a bit more wild, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
well, and now, I mean, with the figure eight, cars are stopped and you literally have to try to miss them.
Yep.
And there's no moving them out of the way.
I was stuck. I could not get it running. I was trying. I could not get it going.
I mean, my tailgate is now a new bumper.
You could see Jordan trying, man.
I was doing everything. It was frustrating. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, the footage right there in the corner with the GoPro was awesome around that corner.
Well, it was great because then Mike Craig, he started just doing the course in reverse because then he would be front wheel drive technically. You know, it kind of helps.
Kyle just got smacked.
See that corner right there was a turn.
That's corner 2.
It was 3-4 where you were turning right.
Yeah, 3-4. I just could not turn right at all.
Oh, yeah, that's the rollover right there.
Yep. I couldn't tell that guy. He was looking right at me. It's like, dude, I'm stuck. He's like, go. I'm like, I can't go.
Who was that?
That was the 85 Jenkins. But what was it? I don't remember who was actually driving the car, but it was the Jenkins car.
So you're going to be ready for that? Are you going to come down and help us build your car?
So I like I said, I talked to my buddy at work and I was telling him all about it and showing him a few videos. And him and I are looking at we're going to do 2 cars and we're going to build them up at his place. And we're definitely going to race again next year. You know, I want to feel like it'll give me, some time to learn about the car, stuff like that. And no, next year I'm for sure going to do it. So
yeah, you got to get some practice in for sure. So that way you got to get that figuring out that e-brake slide. Once you figure that out, it turns fun.
Yeah.
My first race, I just got thrown into it. He tricked me.
I got thrown into it too. I didn't know.
I didn't even know I was racing. He goes, "Oh yeah, they need another driver," and I was like, "Oh okay." But yeah, I mean, that's when I went into the wall too.
I don't think I actually went into the wall in any of those races. My passenger doors both got holes in them from getting hit. Oh, yeah. My driver's door's been in.
Yeah, my driver door is completely in. I mean, I think I have over 100 bruises. I dislocated either my collarbone or my shoulder. I don't know what, but I got it popped back into place. So now I'm dealing with bruises.
No, it was an absolute blast. I didn't think I was going to have that much. Like, I knew I was going to have fun, but I didn't know it was going to be that fun. Like, it was awesome.
Justin said, I feel your pain not being able to turn right. Yeah, Rusty couldn't turn right, could he?
So Justin was running the big car bump pass and boat bash.
He was driving the Rusty car.
Rusty, that thing was I think it was pretty beat up. It needs to be retired, but
Justin, didn't you place in the big bump to pass with Rusty, or was it the boat race? I thought he placed in one.
He got first in the big car.
Did he?
Yeah, he got a trophy.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mike, it was awesome racing with you. It made it fun. I mean, you were one that wasn't scared to get out there and get hit or to hit people. It was awesome.
He's a Kitsap guy. They don't give a care out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to coming to Kitsap and hitting you there.
Yeah.
So
they roll a lot out there.
Looks like with my car, all we got to do is replace the radiator, and hopefully the transmission didn't get broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I think I pissed off the fair people because I drove it out after the next day, and it was just dumping tranny fluid out. You could see a whole line from the pits all the way to the.
That tranny might have got a little bit.
I think that's why it's not shifting now, is because there's zero tranny fluid in it.
Saturday he took first in the big bump to pass.
Okay.
I thought you did.
Good job.
That's good with Rusty. And that car looked like it was moving pretty good.
Yeah, once they got that carburetor figured out.
Yeah.
It still sounds good. I got it off the trailer. Yeah. Reverse is a little bit sketchy, but power brake it.
what kind of car are you gonna look to get in there, Bryce?
I have no clue. Whatever. I don't even know where to start. Like, where to even, like, Kyle, where do you get all the cars and everything like that? Like my car, for example. Like
Your
you
car?
just,
I
yeah.
got your car from one of our church buddies because
Oh, okay.
his son wrecked it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll take it off your hands." So
Yeah.
mainly, I get most of my cars from cars that are sitting out in people's yards, and I
Yeah.
noticed they've been sitting there for a year and a half. So I go out there and be like, "Hey, do you want to get rid of this car?" That's my trade secret right there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna look for just some beaters and do what I need to do for it and
Just don't
ask for
spend a
some
lot of
advice.
money on it.
Oh yeah, no,
There's no
definitely.
need.
All right, well, what car do you think is good for the mini bump to pass?
I mean, I really like my Chevy Cavaliers. They they're fast and they hold up pretty good. A lot of people run them in the small car demolition derbies too because you can
Okay.
build them up pretty good. But I mean, it just depends on what kind of racing you're doing. If you're driving dirt, a lot of guys like running rear wheel drive. So like 70s, 70s rear wheel drive Toyotas or trucks are. I mean, trucks are great for running. Um,
I have a Ford Probe that I'm gonna be running for the main season,
yeah,
not just SlamFest. We're gonna be building that one up.
Yeah, we gotta find me somewhat of a faster car that's not for Slam Fest.
I mean your car was pretty quick.
Oh, it
That
gets up
Dodge.
and goes, that's for sure. It
I
was
mean,
just
I saw one on
quiet.
the side of the road. We might be able to get you another one.
I do have a lineup on a Volkswagen Bug,
Ooh.
That would be fun.
a newer one, not an older one.
Oh, I was gonna say, get the old like.
I mean, we can make it look like an older one.
Kirby Love Bug and just paint it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun because you can make those fast. And I mean, well, you get hit in the rear, you're screwed because that's where the engine is. So you're
No,
just
not
done.
the new ones. The new ones are
Oh,
up front.
okay.
Yeah. I don't. Bryce, I don't know. Suggested whatever you can get. I mean,
Yeah.
for Slam Fest, they're pretty much like throwaway cars.
Yeah.
You try to make it through the first couple days and then just destroy them on the last day. But just go on OfferUp or Facebook, you know, market and just find something for $300 or for free and just whatever you can get, something that runs.
I mean,
Yeah.
up in your neck of the woods, you probably have your choice of pickings up there
Oh yeah, for
because
sure.
we're not willing to drive all the way up there to do that.
Oh yeah.
If Subarus weren't so expensive, it'd be really fun to get like a WRX and.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, because that one is rear wheel drive. Well, because you can't do all wheel drive, so it has to be a 4-cylinder NA.
That's okay.
But I mean, if you do like the BRZs, which I mean, that's rear wheel drive.
Subarus are just fast cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Subarus. I mean, I've had 5 of them.
It would be fun to see like a 3-day derby next year doing chain and go, doing like a mini car or mini truck demolition derby, and then the welded show. And then also keeping with the mini bump to pass. I think that would make for a really good show.
I still strongly believe that if we could figure out how to do an all like mini truck bump to pass would be awesome.
Like
all rear wheel drive, everything's the same. That would just be fun.
Oh, that would be a
Because
blast.
nobody would be able to go without not spinning.
Like
I mean, you'd be going sideways all the time.
Call it the mini truck 400 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
So a lot of comments came out is Ford Tempo, second and third generation, Toyota Camrys, Preludes, all those. They're saying those are all good. These are all guys that obviously race this more than me and you have.
Yeah.
So it's just getting in there to get the car going. But I want to thank all 3 of you guys for jumping on, and this was a really fun podcast because we all got to do it together, and then we got to talk about it. I'm at the end of my show, so I just want to thank you guys for jumping in. And if you got anything else you want to say or anything you want to plug, here's your chance.
I'll plug. I'm getting ready to start a podcast called. It's going to be Pistons and Men podcast with me and my buddy Zach, and then I want to give a shout out to all the drivers that were out at the track this year. It was such a good time, and then Edom Claw Tire for sponsoring us as well.
Yes, Steve, we do need to do a mini bump to pass with trucks. That would just be awesome.
I agree.
And it all has to be rear wheel drive.
Hey Bryce, I just want to say I'm glad that you got a chance to come out and run with us, and I'm glad that you're hooked now. It's once that hook gets in your jaw, man, it's hard to not want to do it.
Oh yeah, for
It's not the
sure.
same as being in the stands.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's definitely not. It was awesome. I just want to thank all three of you for like helping with everything and building up my car. Like I really appreciate that. You guys did so much and so great and giving me the experience to do that and find a new love for something, find a new hobby, I guess, and it was awesome. And then Marcus too, I mean, that dude was awesome, killer. Helped me. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to do as much without him. Like he helped me out so much and showing me how to use my car because he drove it the first day. So he let me know.
He was awesome.
For
so
sure.
I'm going to say, you guys look up LadyLibertyFoundation.org and get on your app store and download mbradio.us, and you'll be able to find my podcast live every Friday. We go to multiple platforms, but look, you can look it up: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and that's where we'll be. So on that note, y'all have a wonderful day, and
I just want to say thank you to my sponsors, Off-Road Vixens clothing company, and then obviously Enum Claw Tire, and then thanks to Kyle for getting me into racing. I mean, because without him, I wouldn't be doing this.
Mother's Worry Racing.
Yeah.
So if you see Mother's Worry Racing, that's him, and generally probably all of us.
Yep.
Racing. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Love you too, Mom. And
bye, Mama.
We will talk to you guys. Well, jump in next week. I think I have I don't remember who's on here. I think it's the Hinderless Foundation for homeless vets. So you guys jump in and listen. It's a great podcast. And until next time, I'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations and your dedicated volunteer hours to make it happen. I encourage you to consider supporting NBR in any way, form that you can. Use this QR code that's attached to the picture, or you can go to our website at mbradio.us. That's Mike Bravo Radio.us to learn more about how you can donate or volunteer even just an hour a week from your home. Help make a difference in the lives of our veterans, because once again, we're all here for you and not for us. We're giving our veterans a voice.